check out the DVD and video, as I'm sure you do every game. Anything else sort of come out of it that you didn't know at 10 to 10 on Tuesday?
The only thing that's come out of it for me is that I've seen the passion, the work rate and the commitment that our players are putting in to try and win football matches. At the end of the game, we was probably all disappointed with the amount of play that we had and the amount of pressure that we put on their goal, that we didn't come away with a result. However, you have to sometimes say well done to the opposition, because their tactics, again, away from home, has worked for them. And although we got through and we had chances, we wasn't able to take those chances, good chances, until later on when Billy came on and got a flick on from Pelly and ended up getting us the equaliser. It was only what the lads deserved. We deserved more on the play. So it just, when I settled down and was, after being disappointed that we hadn't picked up the 3 points, what I've seen is a group of lads and the support from the old C&G stand there. They was really getting going the last sort of 10-15 minutes, and that got us going. And even though their goal was against the run of play, we certainly had 4 or 5 good chances in that last 10 minutes. So credit to all of them. So I was sort of pleased that was there as well. So I've come out of it a lot more positive after seeing it on the DVD than when I just had that feeling of disappointment because we didn't pick up the 3 points.
And are you satisfied that the team's creating the right sort of chances, that not impossible ones to take?
Yes, I am. I think one of the most, everyone says the difficult part is putting the ball in the back of the net, but sometimes it's the bit that happens before that. And I think our build-up play has been good. And we're only a goal or two away from teams that have scored the most. There's one team on 31 and one on 30, and we're on 29. We've got all our strikers scoring goals. So it's not something that you're thinking, well, we need to go out and get somebody, because they are doing their bit. And we are second in the league, albeit top for 24 hours. And I've got confidence in this group, because to bring anyone new in at the minute would be difficult, because they wouldn't be in the same mental state as these boys are in at the minute. And these really, really want to do well for this football club. And I can see that now, and I've seen it in training. So I've come in with a bit of renewed vigour this morning, because after seeing the DVD, and I recommend anyone that's a bit negative maybe about our team, I don't think many people are, but if they were, get the tape. Have a look at the 90-minute tape of the game and see how much effort was put in to try and win it. And that's going to be a big plus for us throughout the remainder of the season.
And having had those 24 hours at the top of the table, can that be a carrot to... and having had those 24 hours at the top of the table, can that be a carrot to sort of encourage the players to get there again and stay there for longer?
Yeah, as I said before, I think it's March, end of March, you want to be top of the table, beginning of April. There's a lot of things going to happen between now and then. Touch wood, we don't get any sort of major personnel injuries. And at the moment, that's gone well for us, as far as, there hasn't been too many long-term injuries. We just had a couple of suspensions. But no, I think it's ticking along nicely. I think the boys are growing in their confidence to play. Nobody could say. I mean, we had just under 600 passes, and I think it was 450 or something was completed. I've got it downstairs. We're going to talk about it in a minute. But the completion rate was very good again, like it was at Halifax. Our shots, our chances, our corners. We're all good as far as the stats were concerned. So that all keeps you in good stead for the remainder of the season. It really does, because if we can keep up that tempo, not everyone's going to have the luck or the willpower to stop a goal like Braintree did on the day. So sometimes you have to give the opposition credit, but we'll see how many teams can survive what we're doing at the moment.
And you've already talked of Saturday's trip to Gateshead as a 6-pointer. I mean, they'll certainly see it the same as well, won't they? Especially having lost the last 2.
Yes, they will. They'll need to bounce back, and of course, the 6-pointers are, because we've got to put a little bit of distance between us and Gateshead if we can, and you always get that chance when you play them. So it's a long old trip, but we're going to prepare properly. We know what we've got to do, and hopefully we can go up there and be happy on the long trip back. But again, I know Malcolm Crosby. He was my assistant at Northampton in my first stint there, first season there, and so he's a good lad. He's a clever lad. He's been around, and I mustn't take him lightly, or their team, because they're there on merit as well.
How hard is Billy Waters pushing for a start at the moment, bearing in mind 2 sub-appearances in the last 2 games, 2 goals?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking to get him on, that's for sure, when he's sitting on the bench. You've got 2 strikers at the minute in Wrighty and Moulds that are working their socks off, that are creating chances for other people as well as themselves. Billy's doing the same. I can find him a spot, but really he wants to play in that system. Really, he's a striker, and I say, you can't say you're looking forward to the opportunity to put him up there. But while we're doing what we're doing, and the 2 strikers know that Billy's playing well, he's working well, he's getting his goals, that makes them try even harder. So he could come in at any time, because the 3 of them are going very well at the moment, and I'm very pleased with all of them.
Injuries? Any worries after Tuesday?
No, I think we've got a clean bill of health, which is nice, and we go into another game with the same group of players, same squad. So that's always good as well.
Finally, you talked about sort of making sure the players aren't leggy after a long journey. How can you combat that this weekend? What will you do sort of to stop that?
We can jog up there. What we'll do is we'll get up there nice and early. We'll probably stretch our legs halfway on the coach trip, halfway down somewhere at a service station or something. And then when we get there, hopefully we'll miss the Friday sort of late afternoon traffic by leaving here early, and we'll find a bit of ground up there to just get our kit on and have a little jog and get them into it. We're going overnight. It is one of them overnight stops, so really there's no excuse once the game comes round for being leggy. They've played on the Tuesday as well as us, and had the same amount of games as us. So all in all, we won't use that as an excuse.
Thank you. Good luck.
No problem.
Okay, we're here again, and you're saying it's a clean bill of health. Does that go back to how hard the squad worked in pre-season to get a basis of fitness?
Yeah, that's exactly. What? At least you don't leave anything to chance. Of course, lads are going to accidentally go down a pothole somewhere or take a kick from somebody. But there certainly hasn't been any strains as such, which are sort of lack of fitness type injuries. So we're really pleased with that. And for the amount of work they're all putting in, we know that at this moment in time they're fit. And none of them want to put out a training to have a rest. I gave them a day off yesterday, but 6 or 7 of them went to the gym to do a little bit of work, etc., etc. So, it's a good bunch for that, and they are getting into the spirit of it. They've seen what it takes to get to the levels that we need to get at, and they're all striving to do that. So, it's comfortable when a manager's got that type of group of players, and they're self-policing as well. So, I need a manager.
In regards to the forward players, interesting what you say about Billy, because Danny and Amari in the last sort of 6 or 7 games have played virtually every minute of every game. Is that a worry for you that they're almost working harder than the rest?
No, I think who are you talking about?
Danny and Amari.
I don't think they're working harder than the rest. I know what you mean. They
Yeah.
played every minute of every game. But I think they've both put in so much work during pre-season that they both feel that they're fit enough to do that. And they're certainly not going into games thinking, oh, I've got to run about again today. You know, they're doing it because they're passionate about moving this club back into the Football League, and obviously making sure that they play well themselves. So, no, I don't think they would even think about that. And we do give them enough time to recover. You know, we're not sort of having competitive, blaring sessions every day. You know, we have that every so often. But I think I and my staff are experienced enough to know when to give them a little break mentally. Sometimes you have to tell them to go away, have a day off. You're not allowed in, so that they come back refreshed and they're not seeing the same faces, or you know, and so then it gets a little bit sort of not boring, but you know, you see the same faces all the time, same jokes, same this, that, and the other. So sometimes we send them off to refresh themselves.
You mentioned on, I think it was a Monday, about maybe looking at the attendances towards strengthening the squad. It sounds today as though you've maybe sort of changed your mind on it, but based on the fact that you were talking about difficult to bring somebody into the spirit.
Yeah, you still like to have a squad though.
Yeah.
You know, we can easily blood people into that, because the people that we do bring in will be people of the right character and personality. I mean, that's not luck, by the way, that we've got this group in. You know, we've worked very hard, my brother and myself and people that we know, that we've talked to. You know, we made sure that we had the right personalities and committed type characters. So we'll find them again. I'm still after a bigger squad, but then you have to, you know, spend 3 or 4 weeks getting them into that your way of playing, your way of thinking, and then you know they've got the character to then quickly get into that group. I say that because if we got a couple of injuries, we would be short. Yeah. In my opinion, we would be short. So, but anyway, you know, there's 2,000 people, home fans that were there. I think when they got home would have thought, well, we've drawn, but actually the team played all right. Yeah. And we tried to play football, and we did create chances, and was only one more goal away from it being a real good performance. Yeah,
Billy said on Tuesday night that this team has proven they're good enough to match any team in the league, but he wants to now go on and prove that they are the best team in the league. Is that kind of heartening for you to hear, that somebody is right on message with you?
Yeah, definitely, because we have spoke about that. You know, no team wins the league and is not the best team in the league after 46 games. So that's why each game we go into, we're saying that we have got to be the best team on that day. So, and then the next game, and then the next game, and then you've got every chance of winning the league. You can't leave it to luck. You've got to be the best team. Yeah,
you said also Tuesday that a win at Gateshead would make Tuesday's point a good point. Is that still the same thinking after
I think so,
after you watch the DVD?
I think it's true, and if you didn't get your points at Gateshead, then the next games become even more important. So, you know, it's not sort of rocket science I'm talking. It's really just saying, really to help the lads pick themselves up as well for the game, to make them, if they can, if there is any more percent they can put in that extra little bit, going beyond the call of duty, in thinking, well, yeah, we were disappointed about the draw, but let's go and get a win at Gateshead, and it won't feel so bad, sort of thing, you know. But yeah, I'm happy with where we are at this moment in time. Third of the season, we're up there competing. We're up there with the goals. We're up there with the goals against. We're up there with our possession and our good possession, as far as, you know. So the last few games we've been much further ahead than anyone else on our stats, and but the stat that matters, everyone always comes back is the one that you have to score more goals than the opposition, and that's what we've got to keep striving for.